At this time, I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Nashville Town Council, October the 17th, to order. Would you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father, we invite you into our meeting tonight. We ask you to lead us and guide us and give us your wisdom in making the right decision for the citizens of Nashville. Amen. Amen. Before we start our agenda, if you're here for either the Birchwood Townhouse Development or the Liberty Townhouse Development, they notified us at the last minute. Well, one did. We knew early on another one that their experts could not be here tonight. So I just want to let you know we'd love for you to stay for our meeting, but if you came just for that, I wanted you to be aware of it. Okay, first item agenda, approval of minutes, September the 12th, 2023, the regular meeting minutes. Are there any corrections to those?
On page 22.
Page 22. Okay.
Okay, Mayor Pro Tem Hobbs made a motion to approve the ordinance, and there's no one who seconded. Seconded.
Okay.
I don't know right now off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll
I'd have
find
to
out.
Look at the
Anybody
notes.
want to volunteer?
I think
I have it
Lois
on the-
would.
It's
The
on
tape.
It's on the tape.
You got to be on the
I'll
tape.
get it.
Any other corrections? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the September 12th minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
The next minutes are September the 26th, 2023 meeting minutes. Any corrections to those? If not, do I hear a motion to approve?
So made.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 We did not have anyone to sign up to speak tonight, so we'll move on to our next item, which is Arbor Day proclamation. Corey.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
So what I have for you today is our annual Arbor Day proclamation. As you know, we do this on an annual basis. It's one of our Tree City USA requirements. It's also a good opportunity for us to plant some trees in town. Traditionally, Arbor Day is celebrated in April, but it is common in North Carolina to have that line up with your planting season, which we are starting to get into now. So we would like to celebrate Arbor Day on November 8th, which is a Wednesday. And this year we're planning on planting two locations. One is the triangle piece of property the town owns on First Street Extension. And we're wanting to plant 10 trees there, which would be 5 red buds, 2 red maples, and 3 southern magnolias. And then we're also partnering with the Nashville Elementary School again to do a program with one of their classes and add an apple tree and a fig tree at the orchard at the elementary school. So attached, I do have a proclamation. And if, Mayor, if you'd be so kind to read that for us, that'd be great.
It says, whereas in 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday called Arbor Day was first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires. And whereas trees in our town increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now therefore, I, Brenda Brown, Mayor of Town of Nashville, do hereby proclaim November the 8th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the Town of Nashville, and I urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and further, I urge all citizens to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated this 17th day of October 2023. Okay?
Thank you.
We need a motion.
Do I hear a motion that we proclaim November the 8th, 2023 as Arbor Day in the Town of Nashville?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Court, where's the triangle location at?
It's on First Street Extension, right before you get to Forest Hill Cemetery. The triangle piece there, as soon as you turn off of Washington Street. It was donated to the town, I believe, about 2 years ago.
Julius Richardson donated that.
Right there where the parade always starts.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Now we'll move on to our old business. The first one is alley closure public hearing. Randy, you want to?
So at the September 12th council meeting, the council approved resolution 37 announcing its intent to close an unopened and unused alley, 10-foot wide alley in the 100 block of the Cobb subdivision between Vale and Elm Street. A notice was sent, notice of the council's intent was published 4 consecutive times as required by state statute. The abutting property owners to the alley have been notified of the council's intent to close and vacate the alley. And tonight, we'll have a public hearing on the matter, as well as Cloudwise Communication, who has an underground utility line in that area, but they're okay with the closing. By statute, there will be an easement that is retained on that property if the alley is vacated, closed and vacated by the council. So upon conclusion of the public hearing, the council then can approve Resolution 44, closing and vacating the unopened and unused alley. And the resolution, as I mentioned, does maintain a public utility easement over it or in it for Cloudwise's underground telecommunication line.
Thank you, Randy. Do I hear a motion to go into our public hearing concerning this matter?
So made.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
At this time, I'd like to ask, is there anyone here that would like to speak or address this issue? Anyone? If not, do I hear a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion to approve Resolution 2023-44, closing and vacating the alley?
Being no objections or questions, I move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is Fire Station 2, so hallelujah. Randy, talk to us about that.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, Local Government Commission did approve the town's application to borrow up to $3 million for Fire Station 2. So the council can review and approve and execute a contract with turnkey contractors for the construction of that fire station in the amount of $4,077,777. And just to review some of the costs, I think it was mentioned at the last meeting, the projected cost is $4,963,054. The funding sources to cover that, we have a $1.33 million grant from former Congressman Butterfield for it. We've been approved for a $300,000 zero-interest loan for 10 years from the Edgecombe Martin Electric Cooperative. We're going to contribute $195,000 of money on hand from the Gully Fire District tax. We're going to also transfer $555,000 of general fund balance toward this project, and then we will be executing a loan with Providence Bank. It's a 20-year loan up to $300,000. It's projected at this point it'll only need to be $2,574,000. And that loan's interest rate is at 4.45%. So at this time, the council can review the contract with turnkey on the construction. It's in a standard format of the architect's standard agreement and owner contract for an architectural project.
Any questions from any council member?
Mayor, before we approve this, I'd like to make a statement that there has been some talk about this fire station costing us so much money. Well, it does, because we didn't do it 3 or 4 years ago like we should have, because of trying to hold the level on spending. And it is a lot of money, but it's a needed project that we need. And the contractor has given us a low bid, and his record, I think, speaks for itself. And I overheard you say something a minute ago. It's a lot of money, but our town manager and other sources have worked very hard in the last few years to try to get as many grants and stuff as we could, as we got some from this here. And I believe you said a few minutes ago, how much in grants have we got in the last 4 years?
19 million.
19 million in the last 4 years that did not come out of the town's coffers. So we have profited that much off of grants. So I think we're doing a great job, and I'm eager to see some dirt shoveled. If the contractor don't mind, I'll go out there tomorrow and start moving dirt. But
And as you're talking, it is a lot of money.
it's a lot.
But if you're out in that area and your house is on fire, it's not much money at all
It's not.
when it comes to saving your property. But
And-
yeah, this is a good point, and you're right. It's a much needed part of Nashville.
And with this being done, everybody in Nashville that has a mortgage right now that they're paying on, with the addition of this fire station, it makes sure that your homeowner's insurance stays at a constant level and doesn't go up. 'Cause I think the next time we get rated, I don't know when we get rated again. But if we don't have a fire station in the plans or something else, your homeowner's gonna go up. So you either have to pay it this way or pay it the other way. So I think the fire station is something we need to get moving and get it up as quick as we possibly can.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Randy, could we get a debt service printout?
Like the amortization
Yes,
for it?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got something from the LGC today, I believe, Brett, I don't, we had an amortization with level payments of principal, or how did that go? We have to switch it around. I can't remember exactly, but yes, the answer to your question is yes. I can get that to you.
Okay.
I have that.
But I would like to ditto also what Councilman Taylor said. Randy, I appreciate all the effort and time and that you put in this. I saw you day after day, and I would just like to say thanks for the extra effort.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
At this time, do I hear a motion to approve and execute a construction contract with turnkey contractors for the Fire Station 2 project?
Move
So
to
moved.
approve.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Fire Station 2 is on the way.
Give me a show.
And when is groundbreaking?
Amen, that's right.
And the fire chief, when's the groundbreaking now, so as many people as
October
can
26th.
come out?
Next Thursday, I believe it
October
is.
26th.
It's October the 26th, yeah.
It is October the 26th at 11 o'clock at the lot, which is at 1200 East Washington Street. So that's where it's going to be at. There's plenty of parking out there. We'll set it up out there and we'll get it done. And thank y'all, Mr. Lansing, thank you for all you've done on this. And it's a much needed thing. Question was asked about the insurance rating. So when we did the last insurance rating, I asked them, how soon could I request Station 2 to be rated? And he said, once we've got moved into it, notify them they'd come back, re-rate that station, that would make a difference. So that's already in the process.
Good, good. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is lead service line inventory project, and Mr. Brown will talk to us about that.
Good evening.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
So tonight, we're requesting a resolution from the council giving us permission to submit a application to the State Drinking Water Revolving Fund for inventorying our lead service lines on our distribution system. The EPA has sent down some new rules to the state DEQ about all distribution systems in the nation have to inventory their lead service lines on their distribution system. Once it's inventoried, a plan has to be put in place and implemented for replacing those lead service lines. So this is the first step of that process, and it starts with seeking funding by way of a principal forgiveness loan from the State Water Revolving Fund. And right now, we're asking for our portion of 22 million. There's 4 rounds. Each round is about $22 million that's available. And for inventory projects, the max ask is 1 million. So with this resolution, we'll submit that application through Matt Gain Associates for a loan. Once we get the resolution, the scope will be developed, with Mike Tolson, our engineer, and move forward from there. So right now, it's very, very early stages where we're just asking the blessing to move forward.
Any questions concerning this?
Mayor, we do have Mike Tolson here this evening if you wanted a little more briefing on the program.
Mike, do you want to give us a little more briefing on the program?
Good evening, thank you for
Good
letting me
evening.
come talk to you. So this is it's the same group that you typically see me coming before you for resolutions for funding. They just did a rolling application deadline. The next deadline for applications is November 1st, and we'll know by December 12th if we get the funding in that round, so, because they're trying to get these funds out fairly quickly. Like
And
we
we'll know
said,
by when, did you say?
December 12th would be when the SWIA meeting is, which is when they make the decisions and announce who gets it. There's another application deadline in December for award in January, and then there's one more in, I believe it's March of 2024 to be announced in April of 2024. So they're turning them around very quickly. They're not a heavily involved application like you typically have to do for the the $2 million water project grants and things like that. But what this will do is we'll have to prepare a budget based on the approach we want to take for doing the inventory, and there's lots of different methods, so we haven't worked that up quite yet. But we will apply for those funds to cover those methods and get a complete inventory for the town that is based on those different methods. Some of it's going to be deed research, some of it's going to be actually digging, some of it's going to be based on historical reference and things like that. But you do have lead services or lead connectors and pieces in your system that we need to document and try to get out. So they're in every town, you just don't know how prolific they are. But the bottom line is there's $22 million worth of funding. In that round, there's 14, in each round, these 4 rounds I'm talking about, they just awarded the first round. This will be the second round that we're going in for. There's $14 million worth of principal forgiveness out of that, and then the other 7 or 8 million will be low interest loans. So you can go in for and hopefully get a full project principal forgiveness, which is the same way of saying grant. It's just they'll call it principal forgiveness after the fact when they see where you qualify and how everything rates. And so it's a competitive process. We just want to get in on the early rounds of it so that, we're not competing with every other single town to go ahead and get funded. So that's the idea of trying to get this done. It's a little bit of a short turnaround, but this is what we got.
But it has to be done, right? With the
You
new,
have got to turn in an inventory of some sort. It could just be on the back of a napkin that says, yes, we've got lead everywhere, but we want to do better than that so that we can accurately figure out how much it's going to cost to dig them up in the long run, because eventually the idea and the goal is to get it out of the ground and to get safer
Right.
materials in the ground.
Do you have any approximate cost of this inventory?
So we're able to request up to $1 million for the inventory. I doubt we'll need quite that much for this town. I haven't run the estimate, so I don't have the actual number. But what I would say is you're gonna be, with the size of the system, probably in the $750,000 to $800,000 range easily, just by doing a thorough job and with the age of some of the lines in the system and where those lines are to be able to confirm them. Because, you know, it's talking about from the main that's in the street all the way to the house and past the meter, through the meter and everything. So we need to inventory both sides of it, and we're gonna have to talk to a whole lot of homeowners and dig a couple of holes in some people's yards and in their flower beds and things like that. It's not gonna be a very popular thing, but we gotta get it done. And, you know, the ones that are will allow us to do it, we'll do that, and then make an assumption about the street if we find, you know, lead in there. And that's why I say there's different methods to do all of this. So, I can't tell you what that mix is, but we're gonna prepare for the worst and hopefully not need all of it, if that makes sense.
Mike, what can we do to try to get the principal forgiveness piece rather than the loan?
So the principal forgiveness is really based on where you fall with number of connections and how you score in the priority scoring. And the town has 5 of the 5 LGU factor indicators that are always important, and those are the main indicators. So you've got the best chance of principal forgiveness. It just depends on how many come in, how much they have left, and how well we score in that round. It's that giant spreadsheet they put together that throws that into it. I can look into that a little bit further, but they're really figuring all of this out at the state right now. Even from the guidance we went to, he said, we know this is going to be difficult. We know this is going to be laborious. We are trying to get the money out there as fast as we can, and we know there's going to be some things that need to be adjusted and everything like that. But that's why they're trying to have multiple rounds and not waiting twice a year for applications like they have done with the other SRF funds they've got. So they're taking a proactive approach, but you know, I'm not sure that we certainly could get the inventory done that with less than $1 million. I don't know, when we find out how much we have, we don't know how much it's going to cost to get it out of the ground. Those rounds are up to $5 million for principal forgiveness and, you know, or 0% interest loans to be able to do it, depending on how hot your system is for lead, if that, you know, the way they work. So.
Any other questions? Thank you very much. So after hearing Mr. Brown and the information about this, do I hear a motion to approve Resolution 2023-45, authorizing the submission of a drinking water state revolving fund application for inventorying lead water service lines?
Move to approve the resolution.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The next item on our agenda is used cell phones. And let me find that one.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and My Sister's House is our local nonprofit domestic violence crisis center serving Nash and Edgecombe counties. And its mission is to support victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking through advocacy, shelter, community outreach, and education. Many domestic violence centers provide gently used cell phones to give to their clients so that they're able to call 911 in case of emergency. And the town has several used flip phones and early generation cell phones, smartphones, that they're no longer in use by our employees. We have 3 iPhones and 2 Motorola One 5Gs, and these have all been wiped and reset to their factory settings. And I wanted to suggest to the council to declare these phones surplus and authorize their donation to our local domestic violence shelter.
Is there any discussion? Do I hear?
How many phones are there?
There's, let's see, 3 iPhones and 2 Motorola's, so 5.
Just 5. Okay.
Just 5.
Do I hear a motion to declare the old cell phones as surplus and authorize their donation to My Sister's House for the support victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
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 The next item on our, on our agenda is downtown, grant, that is Sherry. Is she here?
Right here.
Oh, there you are. Sherry, I was looking for you where you usually say, excuse me.
It's supposed to say facade.
That's what I thought, and I thought, fade
The
facade.
It didn't.
Yeah, it didn't, yeah.
Okay,
From time to time likes to change the words.
Okay, so Mr. Scott Tyson, he's with us tonight, so he submitted a facade grant application to planning staff. And actually, it was for the existing building, the Wright CPA PLC, located at 302 West Washington Street. It's currently located within the Municipal Service District. His purpose for applying for the grant was to repair and replace the roof and paint the porch and handicap ramp. The total cost of his improvements were expected to be a minimum of $20,000. And as talking with Mr. Tyson, Randy and I did mention that the grant, per guidelines, was for renovation exterior facade of the building, which is the outside face or exterior wall of the building. So in addition, only renovations or restorations to the outside facade, which are permanent improvements, are eligible. So with the roof is not part of the facade. And so at the October 2nd Downtown Strong meeting, staff and the Downtown Strong Advisory Board denied the recommendation. But Mr. Tyson would like to speak.
okay.
Okay, well, I think it is the facade. You just drive down Barnes Street and you stop at that stoplight, that roof is the first thing you see. It's right over there. It's the front of the building. You see it. It's an integral part of that building. It's part of the structure. It's a historical part of the building. It's over 100 years old. The way I read the application, the whole purpose of this is to provide an economic incentive for people to preserve the historical architecture of buildings downtown. And that's what I'm trying to do. I spent a lot of my money fixing that place. I've never asked anything from the town. I've got 4 properties in this zone. I've been paying into this fund for years and years, never asked for anything from the town. I spent my own money trying to fix these things, improve downtown projects, and I'm just asking the town to give me some help, because this is very expensive. It's a lot of money to me. And you know, how many millions of dollars have been spent here tonight? And this is just a little bit. I'm just asking a little something back from the town, because they got all this money paid into this fund, and it's supposed to benefit the people that have property down there, to help them keep their property maintained and repaired and improved. And the way I see it, it is part of the facade. You see it. It is definitely part of it. It's part of the structure. It's historical, and I'm trying to preserve it. If I can put this rubber surface on it, it'll last another 100 years. And I'm trying to preserve what's there instead of having to tear it off and put shingles or some of this newfangled roof that doesn't look right. It's not historic. And like I said, I would appreciate any kind of help I can get from the town. So that's why I applied for the grant. But like I say, it's part of the building. You see it. I mean, and the way you see it from the road, it's actually down the hill. It's the first thing you see. It's the biggest part of the house you see. But like I said, I'm trying to preserve the roof, all that gingerbread, all that woodwork. It costs a fortune to remill all that. And like I said, I've been spending a lot of money trying to keep my properties maintained and preserve the architecture and the history of it, because I'm a history buff. I love history. And I'm doing everything I can to make downtown better, to make my properties better, and I'm just asking the town to help me a little bit. I mean, I would appreciate anything I could get.
Mr. Tyson, how much of the $20,000 is attributed to the roof?
Approximately 18,000.
18,000 is for the roof, and the rest of it is for the roof.
Like I said, I was just gonna put a coat of paint while I'm at it.
Now, when you say the roof, you said that the gingerbread detailing, having to remill it.
That's part of the porch, and I'm gonna have to redo some of that, repaint it, and like I said, I'm gonna make the whole front right. I'm gonna put new paint on the whole front to make it look good. And
So if we were to just look at the gingerbread detailing, the paint, and doing all
Well,
the
if I
work?
paint everything, that would be probably another, at least 5,000. I was talking about just the handicap ramp and everything, but yeah, by the time I redo the whole porch and everything, it'd probably be 25,000 by the time I do everything.
Any questions?
Well, I think the issue with the application is that it strictly points out the costs of the metal roof. And I understand what you're saying, and I agree with what you're saying, but the grant application is very particular about it being the face of the building.
Well, that's why I said it really is the face of the building. You see it. I mean,
Does-
that's the, right now, like I say, it's got all that rust on it and it looks bad. So I'm trying to do something with it, but I mean, you see it, it's part of the facade. It's definitely the structural front of the building. The top front, but it's the front building.
Sherry, do we have anything with Downtown Strong that would address any of the roof repair, any upfit costs or things like that? No. If,
Basically, the way I see it, it's just the way you want to interpret it.
And with the DIG grant, you know, that could, but you have to have a substantial amount of renovation.
okay.
Any other questions for Scott?
Scott, my concern is it puts every other roof
Right.
in play. It would set a precedent. Anybody could come to us and say, well, you fixed his roof, why can't you fix mine?
And we
Well,
have quite a few
it's only
roofs
cost
in
sharing.
town that need,
It's
Fixing.
only gonna be a tiny little portion. I remember it's 50%, and I think there's a $5,000 limit anyway. That's what I was saying, I just applied so I would get some help.
but what, I think what Ms. Hinton is saying is that if we grant this to you for your roof,
Right.
that all of a sudden, every roof in downtown will be looking for $5,000.
Yeah.
So I think if, as far as the gingerbread goes and the painting of the
Okay.
front, I think we could get on board with doing grant money for that because that is the facade. But when it comes to the expenditures for the roof, I think it would set quite a precedent.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
The way he's made his request and the guidelines are already set forth, I don't see how we can step aside that and grant
Right.
what he wants, but
I think if he came back with another
I'd
application, though,
I'd hate for him to leave here with nothing. I do want to help him some, because he has put money in that building quite a bit. If you can go back and, yeah, you can see you see the roof as a facade. If you're coming downtown, that's because elevation shifts.
Yeah, that's what I say, it's
But
visible.
it's still a roof.
Yeah.
It's still the roof.
Right.
The only reason you see it is because the elevation shifts.
Yeah.
But if you can come back and rewrite your request another way, I think the council wouldn't have a problem granting your wish, but not as it's presented right here.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to just flat tell you no, and I'm not telling you no. I'm saying if you present it in a different way,
Okay.
I'd be more than glad to try to.
Do I
Get the,
need to, we had talked about the other possible way to do the grant. Do I need to just apply it that way, you think? The one where they had the county, the other one we were talking about, the other building we talked
So
about.
you will have to figure out what your substantial rehabilitation is a
Mm-hmm.
formula in there that you will have to see if this project would comply with the guidelines for that grant.
Okay.
If it had an awning, Scott, we could help you with an awning.
Okay. Well, I've got awnings too.
Yeah.
Or bring those to the.
The word roof has kicked you out, okay?
well,
That's the hang
again,
up.
too, when you're looking at just like this, to bring up your awning point, an awning would be right on the front, just like this bottom portion.
Mhm.
Well, that's why I say you see it. It is part of the front. I mean, the way I see it, if you see it, it's the facade.
You see it-
That was my interpretation.
You see it because of the street elevation.
Right.
If it was all flat land through there, you
If it
would.
was a flat roof on a two-story building, yeah, you wouldn't see
No,
it.
if it was a flat
Yeah,
flat
that's
street
right.
not going downhill, you
Right,
wouldn't see
right.
it.
Uh-huh.
You wouldn't see it.
Well, like I said, it looks bad with the streaks of rust and everything. I need to do something with it, and I need to do it sort of soon.
But the parking lot next to it is just about as
I'd
tall
like
as.
to get some help if I could.
Does it say in the facade anything about awning?
Seems like I've seen it somewhere,
I
but
thought
I
I
may be
remembered
wrong.
that too, but we had something years ago that actually did address awnings specifically. So that could be what I'm thinking of.
Awning grant.
Right.
Okay, you're kind of leaning the front porch roof would, similar to an awning, which would be eligible most likely.
Would an awning be eligible?
I think so. I mean, the downtown buildings, if you look at those, a lot of awnings, they're obviously on the facade.
Right.
But go back to the parking lot. Go back to, see, the parking lot's almost on top of the house.
Yeah.
As high as the
if
house.
you actually look
Because
down,
of ele-
you
because of
actually look
elevation.
down in the backyard, yeah.
Because of elevation.
But what I'm saying is if you take the
The front,
the roof that is over the structure out,
Yeah.
but just address the awning, which is providing coverage from rain on the porch, not necessarily roof, that this is part of the facade.
so you had
Of
to
the
remove
building.
that front porch for it,
So if
right?
we
Is
were
that what you're
only
saying?
talking about repainting the front porch, doing the gingerbread detailing, and addressing the roof of the, I'm gonna call it a roof of the front porch, the
Like it's an awning?
Awning.
on the front porch, take out the roof that's on the back from our deliberation. We then don't set a precedent for roofs, we are only going by an awning.
And may I add too, in the guidelines, while you're discussing all of those, so in the guidelines, it does state only renovations or restorations to the outside facade which are permanent improvements are eligible, and grants are not eligible for general or deferred maintenance.
Okay.
I just want to add.
Go ahead. Took care of that.
Okay. That was,
As expensive as this coating is for this roofing system, just looking at the porch would probably max out the application. If you were just to consider what the coating would cost for the porch
Right.
portion or the awning portion of this. It's 18,000 altogether and, you know, the front porch, to me, looks like it might.
At least a third.
Yeah.
Sherry, where was that section that you just read?
Page, 2 of 11, 137, with the number 137 at top.
137?
And come down on guidelines is the 4th and 5th bullet.
Okay.
Yeah, we've had this program in place quite a while, and we've had very few applicants.
Right.
so Sherry, what would be the best thing for Scott to do? Get back with you, rewrite his grant?
Yes.
And then come
And
back
then
to
come
us
back.
again?
Come back to the downtown strong.
Would you
first, I
mind
think,
doing
right?
that?
Downtown
Like
strong.
I say, anything I could get would help. 'cause
But
like I said,
she can give you some guidance in looking at it so that it would fit into this.
like
And
I say, any way I can.
because if somebody came to us, you know, for an awning of a store, we would probably, the MSD would probably vote for that. But just get with her to see what the possibilities are.
Okay.
And I
Rewrite-
appreciate
rewrite
you,
it, rewrite it, okay.
and I
Well,
appreciate you.
like I said, just anything I could help, if there was any kind of grant, you know, I'd appreciate anything I can get.
We've got the word a little bit different.
Okay, all right, thank you.
So Sherry, would we need to vote to accept the downtown Nashville strong decision on this part now? And then just let him re-enter another application?
Or just,
Why don't we
whatever.
just deny it now, let's start over again.
Okay, good, okay. Do I hear a motion to accept the Downtown Nashville Strong Advisory Board's recommendation and to deny the facade grant application for 302 West Washington Street?
So made.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And just come back next time. Thank you, Scott. The next item on our agenda is, let's turn my agenda. 2024 council meeting schedule, and you looked at that, had an opportunity to review that. Any questions about the calendar for next year?
So we kept away from July 5th. So we only have one meeting in July, and that'd be in the middle of the month, 16th. We got our budget retreat in there, we got budget work sessions in there, the budget public hearing. I think we maintained the one meeting for December, got two in there for November. There won't be an election. Is there an election day next year? The
No,
off year?
no.
So we don't have to worry about, our meeting night falling on election,
Okay.
second Tuesday in November.
Well, the general election, but
Yeah,
Next year?
if
just
it's
vote early.
2024 will be the general election, but
That's right.
it won't affect the municipal election.
Won't affect the municipal.
So do I hear a motion to approve the calendar?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
And the last item on our agenda is surplus property list. Would you like for me to read that?
So, periodically, we retire things from use and set them to the side, and they're no longer needed. And when we get a number of items, we'll put them on a list and bring them to the council so that we can follow the general statute 160A, 266, and have the council declare those surplus. And then most of those items will go on Gov Deals it's an online auction service, and we get a little money for those things. We've chosen a different route with a few others, like the antique fire station. We chose a private sale on that, which the statute allows. So the items on the list, we have a used 2021 pickup, a Park and Recs. We also have another Park and Rec pickup. There's a desk and a steel desk. There's an 03 Chevy pickup, a Public Works, another Public Works truck, and then 2001, supposed to say Dodge, Public Works truck, and some pictures of those. This is the old Park and Rec truck, which I'm sure is going to break Coy's heart to part with. He's gotten pretty attached to that. 2001 pickup. The library had an old steel desk. And it's right next door. It's in the back, actually. And we got a picture of one of the other pickups that has since been retired and not used anymore. And there's I think that's the old sewer gutter truck, which we replaced with a different one this last year.
Are we gonna let the skid go along with it? As is?
Yes, the pump and skid unit wore out as well.
Okay, all right.
So that's pretty much the list.
Do you have any questions for Randy Council? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the resolution 2023-43, declaring various furniture, fixtures, machinery, equipment, and vehicles as surplus and authorize their disposal?
So moved.
Second.
So,
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Before we move further, Chief, Fire Chief, we, a couple of meetings ago, we had surplus, the old Pepsi-Cola truck, the rescue truck. What's the status on that, or has it left?
We've had four different places across the country show interest in it. Chief Whifford said one had contacted him last week. We've not heard anything back from him yet.
So, we still got them on the hook?
Still got him on the hook, still working on it. Chief Whifford's responsible for that, and he stays on top of stuff like that pretty good.
Okay.
So,
Okay, Randy, do you have any other comments?
I do not, Mayor, thank you.
Council? Any other
None
comments?
here.
Okay, if not, thank you so much for coming out, and we will hope you'll come back next month.
Mayor, maybe one question for the special use permits on the townhouses. You know, our next regular meeting is the 14th, being only one meeting in the month. It's gonna have a rather long agenda, most likely, all by itself. Did you wanna consider a separate meeting for hearing of those special use permits, aside from a regular council meeting?
Well, I think we could put one on one council meeting, one on another.
So we have one on the 14th and then one on December 5th.
Yeah. Do you think, how do you feel about it? I mean, I'm just.
I'd prefer to keep them on the regular council meeting dates, only because we will hear that people weren't able to come or plan
Right,
for it or
that's what I
didn't
was
know.
thinking.
Okay,
And they can anticipate it and know that we're gonna.
so you flip a coin, or you have a preference, which one?
Well, we were given notice first regarding the
Yes.
Birchwood.
Birchwood was the first applicant.
Then I would do
then
Birchwood
Do
first
him
and then
first.
do Liberty.
At the December 5th.
Right.
Okay.
Is that okay with everyone? Thank you again for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
All right.
Meeting is adjourned.